that was the start of looking for love in all the wrong places. And I remember having zero guidance about love and honor and respect. Wasn't in a home that was not broken, so don't know what that looks like. And I think that pushed me to attract someone that definitely was probably not right for me. So one of my major blows was constantly finding myself in bad relationships with men. I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but I had 2 abortions at 15. And I think when you are that young, having sex with, and when in hindsight, when I look back, this man was not young. I mean, let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
Right? So now, in the grand scheme of it, I mean, when you look at everything that's going on in the news, especially with celebrities, I was 15. He was about 20-something years old.
Wow.
Of course, I didn't look at it that way at 15.
No, because you were grown.
I was grown, for real. So I was grown.
Yeah.
Yes, it was wrong, but I was grown.
Couldn't tell you nothing.
Couldn't tell me nothing. And just wanting to just be out of the house and be grown. And so I think that pushed me to, again, just attracting the wrong people. When that relationship didn't work out, I attracted another man. Now, this was a man who had just came home from prison. Don't ask.
Said don't ask.
Yeah, don't ask. Handsome man. And but when I look back at it, it was just me wanting connection. It was just me wanting love. I looked past all his stuff and just wanted to be loved like my father loved me. That was my first experience of physical abuse at the hands of a man. And even now to this day, it's funny. Let me give you a little story about that. So he was a street guy. I would say white collar street hustler.
Okay.
And I wanted no parts of it. So I was the good girl. He was the bad boy. And I loved him. I thought he loved me. And I remember just kind of being, to a degree, manipulated by him and just kind of falling in alignment with whatever this was because I was so much in love. And I think a lot of young girls do that. And I just found myself in this relationship. And I remember he just started to become very controlling. I remember at that time I was living at my mom's house. He went to my mother's house, took all my stuff, moved it in with him. I remember him locking me in his home. You're not leaving, you're not going anywhere. But then that broken little girl in me was like, what is he doing? I can't believe he's doing this. But then there's another person, another young girl inside of me saying, but this is love. He loves me because look how hard he's going for me. Do you see the broken, twisted mindset that we have?
Yeah.
As we're going and growing through life? It's bad enough I was broken and twisted dealing with all this other stuff from my parents. Now I'm dealing with a broken and twisted relationship. But I remember one night, we were at his dad's house and I just was done. I was just kind of over the relationship and just being in this brokenness and not knowing if he's going to go to jail, what's going to happen. I just didn't want to be there. And I remember I was going to leave him. He said, if you leave me, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Walk out that door. Watch what's going to happen. And so fear definitely crept in at that time. And I was like, ooh, will he kill me? I mean, I don't know. He hadn't done anything physically to me at that time, just more verbally. So, but I still just didn't know. So I remember I said, well, let me wait till he falls asleep and then I'm going to run out the house. Now, we didn't have Uber at the time. So I called a taxi. I went in the bathroom, I called the taxi. So my plan was once I saw the taxi outside, I was going to run, hop in the taxi and go home. I waited till what I thought was him sleeping. I opened up the door. I bolted down the staircase. And if he was on the 5th floor, by the time I got to the 4th floor, I heard him bust through the door. I could hear him taking leaps. Now I'm running, right? He's jumping leaps, like whole staircases and flights. So I remember getting down to the 1st floor, running and running. I felt like a whole white girl because I totally fell. And I could see him behind me. It was like a horror movie, right? You just falling in a horror movie and somebody's chasing you type of thing. And I remember being so afraid because I just didn't know what was going to happen. But I was determined to get into that taxi. And I ran and I ran and I ran. And it was not my taxi. It was a taxi. It just wasn't my taxi. And there was people inside. So I jumped in the taxi. So just picture this. There's a taxi driver and 2 people in the back. They look like they were just coming from a happy old date. And here this young girl dives in the back of this taxi and they start to scream. I'm looking at the back. I see him running with something in his hand. I don't know if it's a gun. I don't know if it's a knife. I'm screaming for the driver to just drive. Everybody's stunned because what is going on? So I'm screaming, drive, drive, drive. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Everybody freezes. The 2 people jump out the back seat. The driver is stuck like this. And I just know I'm going to die. He jumps in the car and he grabs my hair and he has a scissor in his hand. Now, this was the wild part of it. And goes to cut off my hair to let me know that no man is going to want you now. So I'm going to cut all your hair off.
Wow.
And as he's yanking it, I could feel the back of my neck like almost like rip. I'm feeling like tears because that's how much he's pulling and cutting my hair. Hair is now in my throat as I'm coughing and almost throwing up hair, my own hair. And after he cuts off my hair, he jumps out. I jump out, holding my hair, patches of hair falling out. I run to the train station. I get on the train. I don't even know how I paid for the train. I think I probably hopped the turnstile. Now I'm about to go to jail for hopping the turnstile. And I get on the train and I remember just crying all the way home, holding on to my hair, calling my best friend, like, I can't believe what just happened. Please meet me in my house. And I remember just crying all the way home and I couldn't believe it. I went to sleep that night if I could get any sleep. The next morning, as I'm in my home trying to process what just happened that night, looking at my hair that's half bald, I'm hearing a banging at my door and I'm quiet. And now I'm hearing like someone's trying to pry it open. I don't know what to do. So now I'm battling with what just happened last night. This is the love of my life. Do I call the police? Because now he's someone that just came from jail. Do I want to get this Black man locked up again? So now, do you see the things you have to process as a human being? It's too much.
Yeah.
I let him in.
You let him in.
I let him in. And in that moment, the love that he poured into me in that moment got me. It was everything that I wanted in that moment. It was the care. It was the concern. It was the I'm sorry. It was the apology. It was the love. It was everything. And in my mind, I said, well, maybe this moment had to happen for us to bond. This is the brokenness that we have as women.
As men too.
Right? Well, yeah, I would have to know your story to know. Because I can only speak from my perspective.
But go ahead.
And who knows what the brokenness he had, right? But I can tell you that in that moment, I never forget that night. I think I had my son that night because I definitely ended up pregnant from that night. And so here I am, 6 months pregnant from this man. Interestingly enough, I was actually going to abort my son because we were still going through things. It did not get better. There was no more physical abuse, just a lot of verbal, mental abuse. And I remember I was going to go have an abortion. And he said, well, I'll be there to take you. I remember him coming to the house one day at 7 a.m. And we went downstairs to go have this abortion and all my tires are slashed. And he swore he did not do it. I believe it was him, but I missed my abortion appointment. I never told this story. And so I never aborted my son. And 6 months to the day where I could not have an abortion, he came into the house and he goes, I'm going to do what I'm doing outside. I'm not going to be a faithful man. Take it or leave it. So now I had to make a decision. Do I want to accept this man with all that he's giving me, 6 months pregnant, or do I walk away? And when I tell you, it was so much pain to the point where I almost begged him, wrap my body around his legs as he's leaving the house, telling me I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, well, why? And he's literally, I'm wrapped around his leg as he's leaving. And he left and left me there pretty much, to figure it out. So I think that experience and having a child by myself, being hurt from a man, my father not being there, it definitely pushes you in a place where you're like, what is this? What? I mean, I'm still young. Now, the one I would say thing about that scar is every time I go through something, it pushes me to do something else, right? And it pushed me to revert back to entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is always that thing that says when you're going through something, push harder.